Apologize. I was not planning on going. But we're going to take a look at.
You sound really sad.
People,
You
listen.
sound sad because.
Well, I was actually looking very forward to today's scheduled topic. So we're going to take a look at the booth plot. Otherwise,
Turner, if you're looking forward to today's topic, you know what we could do sometime, I was thinking?
hey, why is your board not working?
It should work.
Where's the other pen?
Maybe PowerPoint doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I never use PowerPoint with it. But Mr. Turner, I was thinking, what if we got some pool noodles and boogie boards and reenacted different battle.
I agree.
Do that?
He got me at boogie boards.
No, we got shields and stuff from ancient and medieval.
No.
And
But if you look at that picture, right?
And they could be in
survive.
If we could teach them how to do a proper phalanx, they might be in better shape.
oh, we
when
did.
zombies come.
When we did ancient medieval, we did that.
Okay, well maybe we could do that as well too.
All right, it's beginning, people.
Maybe some of your treatments will have an actual.
All right.
Okay.
Here's the deal. In April of '65, Lee surrendered the main army of the Confederates, but there's still Confederates there. And the Confederate government is functioning, but they have fled to Danville, Virginia. So that's sort of what's going on. Did you need me, Miss Kelly?
I'll just catch up with you later. Are you?
What is with the wing?
I have a tendon calcified, which we discovered Saturday night when I was in excruciating agony.
That's not good.
Yeah, had to get an emergency room. That's fine.
Okay, I'll find you.
Okay.
Are you off any period this
Yeah,
afternoon?
I'm in 15.
Are you off only in the morning?
Yeah, 1 and 3.
All right.
Okay, I'll catch
I'll
up
find
with
you. All right. So next dude we got to talk about is who's John Wilkes Booth. John Wilkes Booth was a famous actor. His father was considered possibly the greatest Shakespearean actor in American history. His brother was considered possibly the second greatest Shakespearean actor in American history, and that's to this day. So if you had a class on the history of theater, you would study both his brother and his father. He was considered what we would call a sex symbol today. The theater crowd's not that big then, but John Wilkes Booth was considered extremely handsome. He did a lot of comedies. He was funny. He was pretty versatile as an actor. He was well respected, and he was a favorite of Lincoln. Lincoln saw him in 3 plays, and on one of the occasions he actually went to the play because Booth was in it. Booth was from Maryland, from outside of Baltimore. He was a Southern supporter, and he comes up with a plan to kidnap Lincoln. So the original plan was basically Lincoln traveled from the White House to a little cabin up just inside the D.C. border. It's called the Anderson Cottage. It's still there. And he went on the same route. So Booth puts together a group of guys, and their plan is when Lincoln is heading up to his cabin to go stop him. All right.
I'm here and I'm scheduled.
Yeah, I know, but you're also like 25 minutes late. You didn't tell us.
Yeah, well, phone's dead. Have to raise a puppy. On top of all that, it's not that long.
Okay. You can go.
Sorry I'm late, guys.
What you need?
Google Glass.
Here.
That was weird. This is being weird. Hello all, I'm known on Reddit as the Fabulous Finn, also on Smashboards by the same name. You can call me Finland Guy or Jacob Ralston. I really do not care. There we go, alright. So, top 10 misconceptions. Number 10, chainmail is bad. Have you ever played D&D or any other fantasy game and then chainmail is the starting armor? And it's always sucky. Yeah, that's bull crap. Okay, first of all, whenever like historians, quote unquote, try to test chainmail, they use the modern way to produce it, which by the way works great. I work at Cafe Rio, I have to wear a chainmail glove when I'm cutting, who knows what, and it works. On top of that, this is historical chainmail. That is known as riveted chainmail. I'm exhausted trying to get here. This.
Can we turn off the other light, please?
So can you go next?
Yeah. Sorry.
So my big point is on top of all of this, every form of mail was so freaking effective, it lasted from the 6th century until the 15th century. And I'm not even counting its limited usage in the 20th century during World War I. Chainmail was used for tank drivers because, you know what? It had the potential to stop shrapnel. I'm not even kidding. This crap worked. So, yeah. And why does the length of time matter? People aren't stupid. Yes, there are stupid people, but those people die when they don't wear the correct kind of armor in battle. Next.
Survival of the fittest at its
The
finest.
gambeson is useless, and people preferred leather armor. First of all, leather armor was never actually used in the medieval ages because it's really not a thing. It really only exists in fantasy. There are some cases of like leather breastplates, but they were mostly used in China or the Middle East, and the few cases where it was used in Europe didn't actually take place during the medieval period. What time is it?
Oh no, I was doing leather bracer.
Oh, bracers, those things existed, but the thing is that the
11:32.
gambeson, aka cloth armor, is freaking amazing. Cloth armor lasted through the 19th century and into World War I. It worked. It could stop bullets. It didn't necessarily stop arrows, but it helped. You can't necessarily cut it. It's hard to stab through. And the best part is, it was cheap, and it goes under everything. Next, please. This is what it kind of looked like back in the medieval ages. And believe it or not,
Fancy.
it worked. Next. Firearms trumped armor. If you've taken world history or had to sit through some of the worst prepared lectures on the Renaissance like I have, looking at you, College Board, you've been taught that the introduction of firearms into traditional warfare of the mountain knight. While this has a grain of truth to it, it's just too simple. First off, hardened steel armor was able to stop and deflect most balls, not bullets, fired by an arquebus, as well as some of the earlier matchlock muskets. It was not until the first matchlock muskets were truly introduced, as in they had the firepower to do this, that they began to finally trump armor. That said, shrapnel from cannon fire was deadly, and Gustavus Adolphus, the greatest king in all of history, aka also the greatest Swedish king, the father of modern warfare, realized the potential and pioneered the grape shot, which helped disseminate Germans during the 30-Year War.
Would you tell them what grape shot is before I go?
Oh, grape shot. It's essentially when you take a bunch of canisters into a cannonball form so that when it fires out of the cannon, it hits the ground and then it shrapnels everywhere. Yeah, it worked. What really sealed the fate of the heavily armored warrior, mounted or not, was shrapnel and pole arms. Since only the strongest of blows could rock someone in armor, it was the act of immobilizing them that would lead to their death or incapacitation on the battlefield. That's the key. If you were to ask me what weapon actually killed more knights in the Middle Ages, the sword, the pole armor, the dagger, it actually goes to the dagger. Because when you get the knight on the ground and he can't get up, you're not going to go at him with the sword. You have enough time to draw the dagger, and that's the key. You have more control over it, and you can just straight through the visor, put it back, go to work on the next guy. Let me tell you, incapacitation is like how you fight wars. You don't necessarily try to come up with these extravagant weapons. Your goal is to make sure that they can't get up, not necessarily kill them, just make sure that they can't do anything to you. And the other thing is that the metal breastplate actually lasted for cavalrymen into the 19th century. So the idea that armor stopped working because bullets still doesn't hold up. Napoleonic cavalrymen were able to survive blows from, well, not necessarily the most advanced, but the most advanced form of muskets at the time. It still freaking worked. Okay, keep going. Roman armor was superior. I still have no idea how, and I'll help people believe this. Roman armor was outdated. That's why they stopped using it. Plain and simple. The Germanic peoples had better armor, better weapons, and better combat experience. That's why the Romans started hiring them to protect their borders, which also led to their decline and eventual demise. Next. And if you look at a side-by-side, what does this guy not have?
Pants.
Or here, and while this helmet may look better, the chainmail is what really seals the deal. This has issues. It has tons of issues. Besides the fact that the round shield, by HEMA standards, was quite possibly the greatest shield of all time, historical European martial arts for those of you who are uneducated. It's just the simple fact that there's a reason the Franks won in the end. Now, yes, by this point, the Romans had adopted this kind of